I want to drive a new Jeep so bad.
I told Susan that Koons is the region's #1 selling Jeep dealer. It's pretty awesome.
More like Jeep heaven.
Start something new sales event at Koons Jeep in Tyson's Corner.
Good morning, America. Breaking overnight, Donald Trump's Obamacare bombshell. The president-elect now promising insurance for everyone, but not revealing specifics as he goes on the attack, taking on our European allies and the head of the CIA after that nasty fight with civil rights icon Congressman John Lewis. Now, dozens of Democrats boycotting the inauguration just 4 days away.
Breaking this morning, a 747 crashing right into a neighborhood overseas, killing at least 33 people. The incredible images after the plane plummeted just miles outside the airport. The investigation right now.
An ABC News exclusive, kidnapped at birth. The man who raised a young girl believing she was his daughter for 18 years, now speaking out for the first time.
The person she called dad for 18 and a half years is not her dad.
He says he's blindsided and heartbroken as she meets her biological parents.
And last-second thrillers, the Packers and superstar quarterback Aaron Rodgers stunning the Cowboys as time runs out. A miracle catch along the sideline, setting up the game-winning field goal of an epic game. And the Steelers knocking off the Chiefs without ever scoring a touchdown. Both teams now one win away from the Super Bowl.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And good morning, America. Happy Monday. What a Sunday of football. Some wild finishes there.
That's right. My husband, I didn't have him. I was trying to watch a movie. He didn't want to watch the movie. He kept going to the other room to watch football.
You can't blame him for that. They had some crazy weather at the games as well. Take a look what happened at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Fans forced to shelter in place. Look at that sign right there after the game because of tornado and flash flood warning.
Wow, and we're going to have a lot more on that severe weather just ahead. And then this morning, we are, of course, honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., celebrating his life and his legacy in the fight for civil rights. You are looking live right there at the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial in Washington, D.C. Beautiful.
Yeah, lots of celebrations today. Also, Washington, the whole Capitol, getting ready for Donald Trump's inauguration, just 4 days away now. And the president-elect making lots of news on the way in, so let's get right to it with our chief White House correspondent, John Carlin. John, quite a headline from the Washington Post this morning. Trump now saying he's finalizing a plan to, quote, provide health insurance for everyone. Of course, that begs a big question. How's he going to do it?
Yeah, not a lot of details, but a big, bold, ambitious goal here, George. And he says he is down to the final strokes of his plan. The goal sounds a lot like what President Obama said 8 years ago. Listen to this from the interview with the Post. We're going to have insurance for everybody. There was a philosophy in some circles that if you can't pay for it, you don't get it. That's not going to happen with us. People can expect to have great health care. It'll be in a much simplified form, much less expensive, and much better. No details, but he does say that he will force drug companies to negotiate prices with the government. George, this has been a big Democratic proposal for years. It's been one that's been blocked by Republicans in Congress, but he says this of the drug companies: they're politically protected, but not
and that is very definitive right there. Also, that promise, very definitive. You can get it even if you don't pay for it. But you run into kind of a math problem there. Either there's less to that promise than meets the eye, or it's going to be a lot more expensive than Republicans have been willing to go along with in the past.
Absolutely, and there are simply no details in this interview at all about how he would pay for it.
Meantime, another interview with the London Sunday Times and the German paper, The Bild, where the president-elect says again that he believes NATO is obsolete.
Yeah, this is quite an interview with these two European newspapers suggesting that NATO is obsolete because it doesn't do enough in the fight against terrorism. This is something he said during the campaign. And also, he says that NATO countries do not pay enough for their defense. Here's one of the quotes in the article. Countries do not pay their fair share. So we should protect these countries, but many of these countries do not pay what they should have to pay. This is very unfair to the United States. But then, George, he adds, apart from this, NATO is very important to me. So in the same interview, he suggests NATO is obsolete, but also very important.
Yeah, also very tough on our ally Angela Merkel, the head of Germany. Yes. And some have already noted that he seems to be tougher on NATO. They're tougher on our allies there than he has been on Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, and he suggests, by the way, that more countries in Europe will leave the European Union following what Britain did with the Brexit.
And finally, we also saw the outgoing CIA director, John Brennan, yesterday in an interview on Fox News Sunday take real exception to those comments Donald Trump made last week, talking about the intelligence community's Nazi-like tactics. Here's what he said.
But what I do find outrageous is equating an intelligence community with Nazi Germany. I do take great umbrage at that, and there is no basis for Mr. Trump to point fingers at the intelligence community for leaking information that was already available publicly.
President-elect hitting back hard.
Firing back on Twitter and blaming specifically CIA Director John Brennan for the leak. He says, "Oh, really? Couldn't do much worse. Just look at Syria, the red line, Crimea, Ukraine, and the buildup of Russian nukes. Not good. Was this the leaker of fake news?" So that battle with the intelligence community is not ending yet.
It does continue. John Carl, thanks very much.
And Trump has another battle brewing on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. President-elect Trump in that war of words with civil rights leader John Lewis. ABC's Tom Yamas is here with those details. Good morning, Tom.
Amy, good morning to you. So the president-elect was scheduled to visit the Smithsonian Museum of African American History and Culture today, but his schedule changed. He's no longer going to D.C., and the decision coming amid a very public battle with one of the most respected African American leaders in Congress. On this Martin Luther King Day, President-elect Trump in the middle of an ugly fight with a civil rights icon over these comments.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president. I think the Russians participated in helping this man get elected, and they helped destroy the candidacy of Hillary Clinton.
Trump lashing out at the Georgia congressman on Twitter, saying Lewis should spend more time on fixing and helping his district, which is in horrible shape and crime infested, and that Lewis is all talk, 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 no action. That tweet storm causing an outpouring of bipartisan support for Lewis, a civil rights giant who still bears scars from being beaten in the March on Selma, having fought for civil rights arm in arm alongside Martin Luther King Jr. Republican Senator Ben Sasse tweeting, "John Lewis and his talk have changed the world." But with 4 days until he takes the oath of office, Team Trump backing the president-elect's response.
I think Donald Trump has the right to defend himself. For someone to use his stature, to use terms like this is not a legitimate president, it's just deeply disappointing to me, and I hope he reconsiders it.
The incoming administration also calling for unity, but Lewis standing his ground, saying he won't be attending Trump's inauguration.
We need folks like John Lewis and others who I think have been champions of voter rights to actually recognize the fact that Donald Trump was duly elected.
Now, PolitiFact rates Trump's description of Lewis's district as failing as mostly false. It's considered one of the nation's fastest growing areas. Crime, while still higher than the national average, is down as well. We also want to mention, George, 27 members of Congress are now boycotting the inauguration.
Okay, Tom, thanks very much. Let's bring in Democratic pollster Cornell Belcher, the author of the new book, Black Man in the White House. Boy, this is the latest chapter in Donald Trump's long and pretty fractious relationship with the African-American community.
Yeah, no, it's tough, but you hope that he's got to do better, right? Sure, and I hear the Vice President-elect Pence talk about he has the right to defend himself. You know, George, the presidents have to be bigger. I mean, people came at George Bush all the time, right? But he never went back in a personal matter because he's the president. Lord knows people went after Barack Obama all the time, but he never clapped back in this sort of personal matter. Him going after one of the most iconic civil rights leader that we now have living coming off of one of the most racially divisive campaigns we've seen in modern times.
He says he was just counterpunching.
Yeah, but you have to be bigger for the office, right? It's not about counterpunching. He has 46% of America voted for him. He's got to bring people together. He's got to broaden his tent. You don't broaden your tent and bring Americans together by attacking civil rights icons in such a personal way. Look, we have big problems, right? We're not going to solve those big problems if you divide the country.
So what can he do right now? There was some talk that he was going to go to the African American Museum. Apparently that's not happening. Might be having a meeting Trump Tower today with Martin Luther King III. How would you, if he called you in today, what would you say to him? How do I improve my relationship with the African American community?
Well, first I'd drop the phone because I'd be shocked. But I would suggest that he goes to the Civil Rights Museum and learn there. I mean, take in the history that's there, but also go beyond symbolism, right? There are deep-rooted issues within the African-American community. I just came out of post-election polling around African-Americans. You know, criminal justice reform, top-tier issue for African-Americans, particularly younger African-Americans, have an impact there, right? Healthcare, now a real concern for African-Americans, have a real sort of policy impact there. Not enough capital in communities of color, have an impact there. Go beyond symbolism.
Need a plan. Cornell Belcher, thanks very much. Let's go back over to Amy.
All right, George, and now to that breaking news overseas. A cargo plane crashing, destroying more than a dozen homes and killing at least 33 people. Emergency crews rushing to the scene there in Kyrgyzstan. Let's get right now to ABC's Lama Hassan for the very latest. Good morning, Lama.
And good morning to you, Amy. That's right. Here's what we know right now. The Turkish cargo jet carrying at least 4 pilots crashing and plowing into a village as they were coming into land in dense fog. Horror for those on the ground, including a 3rd grader who was returning home from school and found his entire family killed when the plane slammed into their home. The Boeing 747 crashed just a mile from the airport after missing the runway in the heavy fog. The Turkish cargo plane careening into this village, plowing through at least 15 buildings, the nose of the plane tearing through this home. Huge remnants of the fuselage sticking out of the snow, still smoldering. This car's roof ripped off. The plane was reportedly attempting to make a refueling stop as the flight made its way from Hong Kong to Istanbul. Early reports say it may have crashed due to pilot error. The village is separated from the airport by a metal fence. Everyone on board and several families living here are believed to have perished. And just moments ago, officials telling ABC News both black boxes have been found. A team of investigators will be arriving at the crash site tomorrow morning to piece together what happened. George.
A lot more to learn. Okay, Lama, thanks very much. We're going to move on now to that deadly ice storm sweeping across the country. Let's take a look at Woodward, Oklahoma. Everything there covered in ice. The branches are cracking under the pressure. There it is right there. Let's get to Ginger with the latest. Good morning, Ginger.
That is a half to 1 inch of ice in a lot of spots. This is the picture out of Woodward, Oklahoma, but now that storm is moving to the north. So places like Waterloo, Iowa is an ice storm warning. Binghamton, New York, even in a freezing rain advisory. So many folks on alert this morning for that snow, rain. The southern end in Texas this morning, already severe weather, but it's that wintry mess in Lincoln, Nebraska, where we find our Adrian Bankert this morning.
Good morning to you, Ginger. Yes, the glaze that's formed here in Lincoln, coupled with the freezing rain we've been seeing all night, has created this layer of ice on top of ice in some spots. Now, we've traveled nearly 500 miles from Oklahoma to Kansas, now Nebraska, talking to people about conditions where they live. Some cities dodged a bullet. Others took a direct hit from this ice storm. This morning, deadly ice storms crippling the heartland. Watch as this car hits a patch of black ice in Kansas City, sliding at least 100 feet down the road through a red light. Countless close calls Sunday, like this highway trooper quickly maneuvering out of the way to avoid a collision with a semi-truck. Here in Nebraska, dangerous icy roads causing these 2 semis to collide in a fiery crash on Interstate 80. Both drivers survived. Others were not as fortunate. Since Friday, at least 9 people have died in weather-related car accidents. It's even too slippery to walk outside. This Missouri delivery man taking a tumble.
Oh, are you okay?
The ice reaching up to an inch thick in some parts of the country, coating everything from sidewalks to cars. And you know what, Ginger, here in Nebraska, it's kind of unsteady making some of these turns like we're about to make right now. But we've noticed the trucks are out putting the anti-icing brine on the roadways, specifically those highways and major thoroughfares. But it's the side streets, sidewalks, and parking lots that are really icy. It can be tough to walk in some spots. Ginger, back to you.
So true, Adrian, thank you. And that's exactly right. You see the rain falling, but it's falling into a cooler layer of air, and that's where it freezes on contact. So just because you look out the window, it doesn't look frozen yet, it may be frozen on the ground. Here's a look at that storm and how it's going to move from this morning. That pink area is the area you're going to want to watch. By 5 p.m., Minneapolis will start to get into it, central Michigan, central Wisconsin, and then it moves into the northeast New England by Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, late west of Boston, into parts of interior New England, into the mountain areas there, we could see some significant icing, y'all, still in the next 24 hours. So we're covering this and a whole new storm I've got to tell you about for Oregon and Washington State.
All right. Hello, January.
Hello.
Thank you very much, Ginger. Well, now to that big news about the greatest show on earth, the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus announcing they are closing their show and folding up the big top for the final time in May. TJ Holmes is here with the details behind that big decision. Good morning, TJ.
Hey, Robach. This is an American icon, an institution, been around 146 years, and yes, time might have eventually caught up with them. Things have changed in this country, and kids aren't clamoring to go to the circus like they used to.
Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Elephants!
The greatest show on earth drops its curtain after a show-stopping 146 years.
It's been through world wars. It's been through every kind of economic cycle.
The famous three-ring circus stretches all the way back to the 1800s, dazzling generations of circus goers. But in recent years, clashes with animal rights groups over the show's treatment of its star elephants led to the show removing the animals altogether, eventually retiring them last year to a sanctuary.
Removing the elephants from the touring units, we saw a very sharp drop in attendance.
The fate of humans in the circus has also been under scrutiny. In 2014, 8 aerial performers hanging from their hair collapsed to the ground, leaving them hospitalized for months. The long-running show has tried to stay relevant. In 1999, casting the first African-American ringmaster of a major U.S. circus, and just last month, making history with its first female ringmaster.
This is your last chance.
Circus goers outside the show in Miami stunned.
I'm floored.
Circus performer and daredevil Nick Wjla, whose family started with the Ringling Brothers nearly 90 years ago, calls this news upsetting.
1928, my family came over for John Ringling over from Cuba, and it's heartbreaking for sure.
And a lot of people have that sentiment, heartbreaking, because we have so many memories as kids, right, of going to the circus. But a lot of people are celebrating this news. Peter says, be on the lookout, putting everybody else on notice. Zoos, aquariums, anyone else who has these shows, moods have changed about animals.
So, but what happens to all of the performers and to those animals?
Well, the animals, they're going to find homes for all of them. But you got 500 performers. There's some other shows that this company has that they'll be able to transition some of those performers, but the majority are out of a job as we speak. Last couple of shows are going to be in May. That's it.
End of an era.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on now to that exciting Sunday of football. That's why Jesse's right here. Just 4 teams left standing on the road to the Super Bowl. Down to the wire games yesterday, and one, the winning team, we showed it earlier, didn't even score a touchdown.
Unbelievable.
Crazy stuff.
Awesome day of games, those guys. We had nail-biters all day long. We started off in the NFC with the incredible Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers quarterback, leading his team to a last-second upset of the Dallas Cowboys. So check this out. Score tied late in the game. Almost no time left on the clock. Scrambles to his left, throws this laser down the sideline to tight end Jaron Cook. Watch again. He tap dances, keeps his toes inbounds. That sets up kicker Mason Crosby for a potential game-winning 51-yard field goal. Check this throw out and look at the catch and the concentration. So here's Mason Crosby, 51-yard field goal. There'll be no time left on the clock. He's got to make it. Looks like it might go left. Bends back right, barely squeezes it through the uprights. A game winner. The Packers have now won 8 in a row, and they're off to play the Atlanta Falcons.
Had a double bend it.
Yeah, he kind of double bended it. He bent it like Beckham. Back to the right and right through. There's head coach Mike McCarthy. He's excited again. Guys, the Packers right now, red hot. They've won 8 in a row, but they have a tough game coming up on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. And then, of course, in the AFC, it was a field goal fest. How about that? The Pittsburgh Steelers, Kansas City Chiefs, 18-16. The Steelers win this game without even scoring a touchdown. They kicked 6 field goals. That was a record. But, guys, they're going to have to find the end zone because coming up next, Tom Brady and the New England Patriots on the road.
Wow.
Watch out.
You're pretty good at calling sports like
I
that.
felt like a sports anchor. I know. That was my first time ever
Pretty
actually doing highlights.
It's like you've done it before or something.
Let's go back to Ginger. You got flooding in Texas?
Yes, the flash flooding, the pictures out of the highways that were just covered in water in Dallas, Texas. Well, now the storm obviously moving east, and eventually the jet stream going to allow a lot of mild air into folks that haven't seen it in a while. All right, let's get to the select cities now, brought to you by Cosequin.
Meet CJ. He loves going for walks, especially around the ring at the Westminster Dog Show, where he won 2016 Best in Show.
But you know, he's not just a Best in Show champion, he's our best friend. And that's why we choose Cosequin, to keep his joints moving.
Cosequin, the #1 vet-recommended retail joint health supplement brand.
CJ's been on it since he was 2 years old.
Cosequin, a proud sponsor of the Westminster Dog Show. Available at veterinarians and pet aisles nationwide.
Well, on this MLK holiday, everyone, we are going to see a few clouds, maybe a spotty shower, but a better chance for some spotty showers comes tomorrow. And that really is the next time where you'll notice the change from the 40s to the 50s tomorrow. In the next couple of days, our temperatures will be in the 50s.